You might be wondering, can eating too much fruit stop you from losing weight? I've got the startling answer coming up next. In this video, we'll cover the history of fruit and how it has evolved or mutated over the years. Next, we'll talk about how fruit affects your weight loss. And last, I'll reveal which fruits you can eat on the Code Red lifestyle and still lose weight. All right, once again, I don't want to demonize fruit. It's so funny to me how many people twist my words and they say, Cristy hates this. Like, oh my gosh, how about this one? Then people say, Cristy hates exercise. Cristy says, don't exercise. No, I don't say that. I'm an exercise physiologist. Of course I think you should exercise, but it's not a way to address your weight problem. Same way with fruit. Cristy hates fruit. No, I don't hate fruit. Let me give you the facts of fruit. Let's talk about the history of fruit. Because fruit has really changed over the decades. Things are not what they used to be. Look, if all of us were living in the Garden of Eden when fruit was pure and organic and in its original form, things would be a lot different. But fruit nowadays has been genetically modified to be bigger, brighter, and sweeter. I mean, have you ever looked at an apple from Costco? It's the size of a baby's head. It is huge. And there are 4, 5, 6 servings of fruit in that apple. But that's what people want. I mean, the growers know how to attract buyers, and mostly kids. And when something is bigger, brighter, and sweeter, our kids who have become habituated to sugar will eat the fruit. But I think if any of us were to taste a fruit from back in the caveman days or back in the earlier time, we would probably spit it out. It wouldn't be sweet enough for us. But our tongues, our palates have changed over the years, and we've gotten used to everything being so sweet. And therefore we expect it, consumers drive the market and consumers expect the fruit to be edible in their eyes, and growers are having to meet the demand of genetically modifying fruit to make sure that it's edible and sweet. And also keep in mind that fruit has to travel a long distance to get to most consumers. We don't have local orchards, I guess, unless you live in Florida or you live in a state that grows as certain. Everybody thinks that Idaho, I'm from Idaho. Everybody thinks that we Idahoans grow potatoes in our backyard. Actually, potatoes are only grown in a small part of southern Idaho. It's not even grown very much in Idaho. But if you live in Florida, like I'm stereotyping here, and you happen to have an orchard, that's just not how people are. They don't have orchards in their backyard, and we don't generally have local growers because we've just become so urbanized in the United States. So a lot of our fruit is coming from South America, and it's coming from Mexico, and it's traveling thousands, hundreds and thousands of miles to get to us. So by the time it's picked to by the time we consume it, it's up to 11 days. That's a lot that can happen to a fruit, and a fruit has got to be stable during that whole time. And so, the growers will spray it with pesticides. They will make sure that it is genetically modified to where it will not ripen until a certain time. A little side note, my husband's daughter, Shauna, has her PhD in plant genetics. She's incredibly smart. She's wonderful. And Shauna, if I'm getting this wrong, I apologize, but she worked on this study, this experiment, or maybe they just did it in her lab and she was a part, something like this, where they actually were able to change the gene in a pear and turn on the gene right at the moment when the pear actually reached the grocery store. And that way the pear did not ripen too soon and it didn't bruise along the way. I know, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I know. Because a lot of the grocers were complaining that fruit was arriving bruised and damaged and the consumers wouldn't buy it. So they were able to modify the gene in that pear and keep it nice and firm until the last minute, and that way it ripened. Not too soon, not too late, but right on time. And I know that kind of technology, we're all super impressed with that. And I'm super impressed with Shauna. She's so smart. She's doing great things. But that comes with a price. You need to understand that genetically modifying different things, it's not the way that our bodies were meant to process them. So I don't know if it's doing harm to us. I don't know. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. That's not my area of expertise. I'm just saying that we have some pretty incredible scientific breakthroughs to be able to get fruit from clear across the world to us and have us buy it and have it still be pretty beautiful. Before I go to my next point, I want to hear from you. Comment below and tell me how much fruit you eat a day. Be honest with me. How much fruit do you eat a day? Are you like, I love fruit. Yeah, I love fruit too. How much are you eating? Are you eating that big Costco apple? Comment below. Tell me what you think. So how does fruit affect your weight loss? The problem is that your liver can only metabolize a certain amount of fructose, and that's the sugar found in fruit. I'm not saying that fructose is bad. I am saying that high fructose corn syrup is bad. That's a different video for a different day. But fructose is not bad. Again, we don't want to say good food, bad food. We want to talk about foods that are going to get you closer to your goal or further from your goal. That's it. And right now, you're wondering how fruit might stop you from losing weight. So we're going to stay on that subject here. The reality is, I think your liver can only metabolize like 30 to 35 grams of fructose at a time. Well, guess what it does with the rest? It stores it as fat. Yes. So to answer your question, can eating fruit slow my weight loss? Yes, if you eat too much of it, it will. And if you eat the wrong kind, it will. And a lot of people don't want to admit this. Like on Weight Watchers, fruit is 0 points. 0 points. So I would get 26 points a day on Weight Watchers. And Weight Watchers says I can have just as much fruit as I want. I would never reach my goal weight because my body would take that copious amount of fruit that I would have. Because come on, I like mangoes too. I want to eat oranges and I want to eat bananas and like I want to eat that stuff too. And if I didn't know any better, I would think I could have all the fruit in the world, pineapple and watermelon, all this stuff, and have it not affect my weight loss. And I would be pretty upset and disappointed. I'd be bummed out. I'd be on the phone with my Weight Watchers coach, being like, what the heck am I going? And they would not know because it's 0 points. That's wrong. You will get fat off fruit. I'm sorry to say, but you will. Look at our Hawaiians. Look at our Hawaiians, one of the highest rates of diabetes in Hawaii. And they eat a lot of fruit over there. You know, I mean, let's just look at the data. So you can't get away with having a bunch of fruit. What you can get away with on Code Red when it comes to fruit is berries. Yes. And why is that? Because blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, raspberries, huckleberries, that's a low glycemic fruit. That's a fruit that's not going to spike your blood sugar and not going to cause a lot of problems in your body. But I do want you to keep it at or under 1 ounce of berries per day. You can't go crazy. Look. You can't go crazy with the berries, just like you can't go crazy with the cashews. You can't go crazy with anything. There's no get out of jail free card. There's nothing that is just like eating air. Fruit falls into that same category. You have to keep the amount of berries, although they're allowed on Code Red. You're still gonna wanna keep them under control. You can't just have endless amounts of whatever you want. That is not how this game is played. From September 2007 to September 2008, I'm embarrassed to admit this now, but I was vegan. I just wanted to see what it was like. I like trying out different protocols myself. That way I can comment about it with some authority, at least with some personal experience. And when I was vegan, I ate so much fruit. I ate fruit and grains like it was going out of style. And can I just tell you, I felt like absolute garbage. It was like I had a banana the size of my forearm and I had like just all this fruit all the time. Well, my liver could not process all that fructose and I didn't feel good and I didn't lose weight and I gained weight. I felt rotten. So I experienced firsthand what it's like to overconsume fruit. And people think like every time they walk by the fruit basket, they're grabbing out a banana. The next time they walk by, they're grabbing out an orange. The next time, and they think that it's okay. That's not okay. You can't do it over and over and over like that. I don't care what plan you're on. Well, I guess Weight Watchers lets you do that, but I don't care what plan you're on. That is not gonna work. And your goal is weight loss? Let's get some weight off of you. I am not anti-fruit. I am anti-you stalling. I am anti-you being on this weight loss train for freaking ever. Nobody wants to lose weight forever. We all want to get the weight off and then go into maintenance. And once you get to goal weight and you're transferred into my very, very powerful maintenance program, you'll see our approach to adding fruit back into the diet. Can I give you a little hint? When you hit goal weight, you can add in 1 piece of fruit a day, and we like to start with a medium apple. Don't tell anybody I told you that. We usually talk about that when we get to maintenance, but we're not anti-fruit because there are nutrients and vitamins and minerals in fruit. But you're gonna wanna get your weight off, you're gonna wanna steer clear of certain fruits, only stick with the berries, and you're gonna wanna keep it down in volume. On the 10-pound takedown challenge, you are gonna get a food list. And the food list is gonna have 2 very clear categories. This category is what to eat. This category is what to avoid. Pretty easy, right? Cut and dry. You just follow the sheet. You follow the sheet. And you can lose at least 10 pounds in 30 days. I'm gonna give you tracking sheets. I'm gonna give you very simple rules. And I'm gonna come live to you every day and teach you why we believe what we believe. I'm not just gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna teach you why. So now you can make your own decision from there. I linked it up below. So click the link to the 10-pound takedown. We have one starting soon, and I'll see you on the next video.